pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes for September 18th, 2023.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Robbins,
I'll second the motion.
Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? None being, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries. No awards or proclamations, nothing for public hearing, no bid openings. Visitors and delegations, welcome Susie. Would you please give us your slideshow presentation?
Yeah, can you pull that down?
Okay.
And, no slideshow for me today,
Okay.
sorry. I'm here wearing my chamber hat today. So I wanted just to give you a little update as far as the Chamber of Commerce and what we have been up to. So I'll just start with events. We've had a busy slate of events throughout the summer. We helped host Devil's Run with Stan. We had our Chamber Walleye Tournament, which we moved to a one-day this year, and we were up about 11% in participation. So we were looking to continue that again next year. We held Rib Fest in July, which was another great event. I think we sorry, there, Mayor
That's a sore
Mo, on
subject.
your non-win. Again, just teasing.
Somebody's got to
There's
lose,
always
right?
next year. But I think we fed about 500 people from the public for that. So it was another well-attended event. We hosted our golf tournament as well in August, which went over really well. On the tourism side of things, we hosted the National Walleye Tour in September. It was the championship. There was 41 teams or 41 anglers and 41 co-anglers. Went over really well. The stage performance from all of the anglers, couldn't say enough good things about Devil's Lake. So we got a lot of good publicity out of that. So we were excited to host them. We had our wine walk this past month in September, down slightly in tickets. We usually sell out at 450 and we were just a little over 400 this year. I blame it on a busy week. The Maddock Renaissance had their wine walk at the same time. So I think we lost a few people from the western side of the area. And then there was a couple of school things going on that night as well. So overall, though, with over 400 participating, I think it still went over really well. Looking at doing that again next September. Coming up, we have the Holiday Showcase, which is November 14th. So everything is out for that, and all the businesses are sending in all their information to participate. We usually give giveaway drawings for that as you come in the door. And one of our grand prizes this year will be 2 Minnesota Wild tickets, lower bowl. We threw some advertising in with the Minnesota Wild this year for tourism side of things. So with that, we got 2 tickets that we could use. So we're going to give those away at the Holiday Showcase. They can pick their dates for that. Coming up on October 10th, next week, it's a busy week. We have our business after hours with Lake Region State College, and that runs from 4 to 6 at the Hofstad Egg Center. And we have a cybersecurity event with our Coffee and Collaborate. It's our educational series that comes back in October. That will be at 10:30. We are partnering with the North Dakota Telephone Company on that. So if anybody's interested in learning a little bit about business security and the internet and your computers, again, those are always free to all of our members to participate. And then we have our annual meeting coming up on October 11th. So I think you all should have received some postcards for that. But that will be at the Elks Club. So if you can attend, we would really appreciate that. The social runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and then the program starts at 5:30. We give away some, I think 5 or 6 different awards throughout the community for different businesses. And excited to give you a little bit more of a recap of what went on in 2023 and where we're heading in 2024. And the Lake Region anglers will be on hand if you need a little persuasion, cooking up some fresh Devil's Lake walleye for the event as well. So there you go, right? You want to attend to have some of that walleye. We also hosted a roundtable this year with Kelly Armstrong, which was really well attended. That happened this summer. Our motor vehicle was shut down for the winter months due to some staffing issues, along with everybody else. We have staffing issues just the same. We are back up and running full schedule, Monday through Friday. We're actually staffed a little bit heavier with 2.5 employees in the department. They are still working closely with Bismarck. They are doing a phenomenal job. I can't say enough about the gals we've hired in motor vehicle. Still learning. It's going to be a 6 months to 12-month process there. But like I said, they're working closely with Bismarck, and we're just excited that we're back up and running and working closely with them. The kiosk has moved. We worked with the state, and that is over in City Plaza now, with the responsibility with the driver's license. So it has better hours, and it's open 7 days a week instead of 5. So we're excited that we were able to work with them to move that over. We will be looking to hire. We'll have the information out in the next week or two. Now that we have motor vehicle back up and running, we are still shy one staff, since I'm kind of now doing double duty as chamber and tourism. We'll hire for a marketing person. And we'll get that out, like I said, in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully have that hired by the first of the year. I'm excited for that. We'll be able to pull in all of our social media in-house, tourism and chamber side of things. And we'll be able to work a little bit more closely with the city as well, to help out with any marketing efforts that are needed there. So again, very excited to be able to pull that in-house and get that started. We also hired a local photographer. I don't know if you've seen Iceberg Art. It's Candace Berg. She's been out in the community throughout the summer months at all of our events, at the park, just all over the city, taking photographs. She's done a great job. So we will be sharing those photos as we get them with the park board for their new website, as well as the city, if the city needs any updated photographs or anything that they need. So excited to have her on board as well. Moderated a panel last week with the Greater North Dakota Chamber. They had a tourism policy and development discussion, or a panel, I should say, at their annual event. So I was asked to moderate the tourism policy, since I kind of wear both hats now with tourism and chamber. I think it went over okay. You never know how you critique yourself, but it was excited to be a part of that. Other than that, we have the Main Street Summit coming up in October. Time does not allow for any of our staff to go, but we have enlisted Lisa Crosby, who's going to go on our behalf. She wears all the hats, right? She's got the arts, the history. She's on our chamber board. She's in tourism as well. So we're excited to have her go on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. So she'll come back and report on that. And something new that we'll talk a little bit more about, it kind of died in 2020 with COVID, but our ambassador program, we used to have a set team of ambassadors. And again, with everything kind of sliding down because of COVID, it went away, for lack of a better term. So we're bringing that back. We have a set team of ambassadors. We'll have a form on our website. If anybody's interested in being on that, they can sign up their business or as an individual. But basically, it's just a group. We want to bring back the business after hours a little bit more, enhance our ribbon cuttings. And it's just basically a team for the chamber that can be out to welcome new businesses, even new business people to the community as we're trying to recruit. We can maybe try and match them up with somebody from our ambassador team to get out and just get to know the area a little bit better. So we're excited to bring that back. So quick update, unless you want a slideshow or if you have any questions for me.
Sounds like you did a pretty good job.
One question. It was mentioned, the VFW, we did the wine walk this year again. It was mentioned that it's not only having the best wine chosen, but have like the best service provided, so each business can kind of compete with their setup, their background, how they do it. That might be something that people said would be.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. We had 18 businesses participate this year, and boy, did the majority of them roll out the red carpet, VFW included. Yeah, it's great. The food spreads that are out there and the giveaways, and a lot of them will do the research on the wines and talk about the wine and the pairings and such. So yeah, that's definitely a great idea. Thank you.
Anybody else? Nice job, Susie.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
for all your
very
hard work.
much. Thank you.
Oh,
I think the commission just want to release the third and fourth quarter funds for the chamber, $12,500.
Oh, okay. Comes with a little hitch, right?
It's here for her biannual update.
We got to pay for this visit.
Thank you.
Okay, you're expensive.
But we do so much for you.
Motion to release the funds.
Second.
Okay, we got a second by Commissioner Pierce, or first by Commissioner Pierce, second by Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Hass.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye. Motion carried. There you go. Jay, nice job again.
Yeah, no members of
Next
the-
year, for that money, we better have a slideshow.
Okay, I promise, slideshow.
Thanks.
5-minute slideshow, right?
Okay,
And I would just remind the commission, so this last budget cycle, because a lot of times the chamber has events and it's, should the city sponsor this, such and such event? So we kind of just said, hey, we'll give you a blanket amount and then the city will just be a sponsor for your events. And they've been really good about putting our logo in places and advertising on their events and stuff. So that's where the
sure.
last budget as a reminder.
No problem. Nice job. Okay, moving on, commission portfolios. At this time, Commissioner Pierce.
The school tours have started, and they'll be running the whole month. Our software so far is working really well. We've had actually quite a few people stop in to sign up for that Community Connect. So that's been going pretty good. And then the big one that everybody's been wondering about, the fishing derby tickets are out, so. That's all we got.
I heard on the news this morning, Corey was saying that they can order them by mail. Is that something they've always been able to do,
Yep.
or is that something new?
Yep, so we set aside so many bucks for mail outs.
Okay.
And it's just for people that live remotely that want to send in and get tickets. However, it's a first come, first served basis, and we start actually receiving letters and stuff like that for that in August.
I guess I wasn't even aware that you guys did that.
Yep.
That's awesome. Is that it?
That's it.
For the LEC board, just wanted to put out that they voted to accept the properties from the city and county. Deeds were forwarded to Attorney Howard Swanson, and he had some questions, and he said everything was sent to you and somebody else. Did you receive those?
Yep.
Was there been any conversation on that between you, the three of you?
No, there hasn't been any conversation on that yet.
Okay, because the questions he had was, have you done a title review? He asked if the center has any abstracts that he could have updated and reviewed. Any decisions been made as to the payment and closing costs? And if there was a reason that the joint deeds were drafted instead of individual deeds for the county and city? And is the conveyance going to be quit claim deeds or warranty deeds? So
It'd probably be a quit claim is what I would assume. Bo responded to Howard pretty sufficiently, and then Howard did not respond. So we're kind of just waiting for Howard.
Okay.
But I'm sure, yeah.
but that has moved forward, Mayor, so you're
Okay.
aware, and board members. They also did the slide presentation from the visit we did to the other law enforcement facility. And they voted to proceed with a feasibility study to assess the existing facility and community and regional needs, and for now and then 30 years into the future. So they're going to have that study done as the next step.
Going back to the LEC, is there a position the board took on if they want the quit claim deed or
When I
warranty
spoke
deed?
to Mr. Frith this morning, he hadn't made any of those choices. He said that he was just waiting to hear back from the attorneys on what was suggested.
And then Howard asked about closing costs. Was that discussed with you guys?
Not that I had, other than the question, it's first I've heard of that.
I have no idea what that would be. And other than that, is the LEC requesting a title opinion or anything like that?
As far as I know, they handed that all over to Attorney Swanson, and Frith's waiting to hear back from the conversation between the three of you. So,
Okay, I think it's pretty simple, but I think it's getting more nuanced than necessarily it needs to be.
I mean, I got
But,
three deeds. I don't know if you've received. Those are what I was emailed today. I don't know if you've received those.
Yep.
Okay. That's what we were given. So I don't know.
Okay.
But that's where we're at on that. And then
From the city standpoint, we're pretty much ready to go whenever everything's ironed out by the.
if you could keep on their toes and keep stepping on them so they don't go into the new year without.
We can do that. Only other thing while we're on there, just to get it all in one shot, has there been any discussion or further movement at the LEC regarding the JPA?
Did they say anything?
No,
Yes. I will find out and I will get back with you.
nothing.
I haven't heard anything from them about it yet.
Okay.
And then the issues with the LEC and the 911, they had a meeting with some stuff with rural.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Chief Bennett's sister's going to come up, and they offered to pay her to come up and do train on the system and how to get everything operated and running between the two, rural fire and the LEC and everything else. So
My understanding, rural didn't take the opportunity at training.
no, they
No, they
didn't.
need
But
Is that right?
Commissioner Fritz said that if he makes this, pretty much you will be there, because
Well, they offered it to them prior to that, I
Yeah.
believe.
and they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. take
The trainings that were offered were not, we had both asked, like, hey, do the fire departments need to come there? And we were told no.
Oh,
So it was all.
It was more dispatching and working within the software stuff. So
So that's where we're at on that, Mayor. And pending any questions, that's all I have for you.
okay. Anybody got questions? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, Commissioner Robbins.
Mike, anything engineering?
Just a couple things. I think you're fully aware of work was completed on 14th Street Northeast and 14th Avenue Northeast as far as the gravel improvement. So the cement stabilized base was completed, and there was some fabric and gravel put on those two sections of roadway. So they're improved. That work is essentially complete. We're continuing work on our 2nd Street water main replacement project. We're working in the area of 10th Avenue to 12th Avenue currently, and should be working there this week into next. And then for the most part, as far as the water main is concerned, the water main will be complete in that area within the next week and a half or so. We'll have some work to do as far as asphalt replacement, and we're looking at potentially working in another area if there isn't a lot of temporary water service required, potentially over in 8th Avenue. We'll see what happens. So that's what's happening with the engineering. Unless you have questions to me, that's all I have.
Anything in streets?
Street department, they're doing a lot of work prepping for winter, getting all the equipment ready. And you'll see some finishing touches working in the alleys. I think the mayor had made a comment related to that. After rain, they like to get in the alleys if the alleys need it, because the rain softens out the gravel, so they actually accomplish something when they're in the alleys. So that's what's going on in streets. You'll see some work going on along College Drive as well. They're just working to kind of cut down the berms that have built up over time, making it hard to mow. And then when they're moving snow, if they happen to get on top of the curb, they end up gouging out a lot of sod that has to get fixed. So they're pulling it down to where it was when the roadway was originally constructed and trying to get rid of some of that excess salt, sand, and soil, make it look a lot better. We're going to try and get that cleaned up yet this fall as well. That's all I have.
I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sure.
Anything from sanitation, Mike,
Nothing.
other than they got their truck? Or is,
The truck is at Sanitation
Yeah.
Products,
okay,
and the old rig has been brought down to Sanitation Products, and then the compactor has to be moved over and things complete. So that should be complete in the very near future.
Okay.
That's all I have.
thank you.
Have they thought of when the garbage is going to be? Is the garbage going to be moved out to the streets at all for the winter? I don't know. No, just for the spring.
No,
Sorry.
Spring, yeah.
Brain-
You're a little too early on that.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at spring kids.
I wish it was spring.
We gotta get the
Spring
winner
guy.
first.
Oh, all right.
That's all right.
Thanks, Mike. Rob?
Just put it out that I'm out taking a lot of pictures of properties right now. So if everyone sees me out there and they have questions, feel free to swing out and talk to me. But they'll see me out a lot the rest of the fall here. That's all I've got unless you have questions for me.
That's all I got for you. Okay. Thank you. Good.
Okay, well, under Commissioner Hamrays, Mike?
Just one thing, been working with the utilities department. They've been working hand in hand with engineering on the Second Street water main replacement to replace lead service lines. In that area, you have to think much of the water main that we're replacing on Second Street is water main that was installed with part of the original city water supply system dated 1910. So portions of it 1910, portions of it in I think the hydrant was 1927. Some of the pipe fittings dated 1910. And so encountering some amount of lead service lines, and everyone that we've encountered at this point has been replaced. So really accomplishing some good things there. And the utility department's been there working hand in hand to get it done. So that's all I have for utilities, Mayor.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Any questions for him? Okay. Under my portfolio, Chief.
We received a grant from AAA for speed signs, like it's a digital speed signs or what's your speed in school zones.
So you can put one in each spot, is that what you mean?
Well, right now we're gonna work Mini H.
Oh.
That right there, it's a high, it's a scary area. That by
Wow.
water, that speeds are high and being at 4 lanes, working with Mike, making sure everything's right. And so hopefully we'll get that going and I can wait to see those up. That was through a grant. So
Perfect.
that's about it. Do you have any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Spencer.
Mayor, members of the commission, just recently attended the League of Cities conference last week, and I would just say big topics of conversations: childcare and workforce. Kind of 1A or 1B for every community. Just whichever one's first or second is different for every other community. Talked a lot about health insurance rates. Because everybody else had those big, sometimes 10+% increases that they had to deal with. So it was pleasant to be able to go down there and say, hey, Devils Lake isn't in the same boat. There were a couple other communities that were seeing only those 3-4% increases as well. So it's really kind of each organization's specific circumstances are impacting those things, and it's humbling. Every community is working with the same thing, but also a lot of gratitude for the city of Devils Lake and working here, because you go and you meet folks from other communities similar as well, and the challenges they're going through, and we might not necessarily have those challenges, and so walked away humble, but yet very gracious to work for the city of Devils Lake and live in Devils Lake. Other than that, if it pleases you guys, might turn it over to Rob real quick and give you a quick update. We kind of tasked Rob with coordinating with corporate technologies on some server and desktop upgrades that we're working on. Rob just wants to give a quick update on that. What we're working on.
So went through and updated our hardware inventory that corporate tech had versus what we actually have on site. Identified the age of our workstations as well as the servers. The servers their end of life is coming up here at the end of October, so they're due for replacement. So we're working with them to get servers replaced. We're utilizing our team in their abilities and their histories as best we can to make sure that we're not getting overkill when we're getting our servers, that we're getting what we need and not paying too much for stuff that we don't necessarily need. And we also are going to start cycling through workstations. So we have 6 workstations that we'll be replacing, starting with our older ones, which are generally in the back with the engineering department. And then we're going to replace Brenda's as well because she needs to have more mobility. So we're going from the desktops to laptops with docking stations so that it's more of a mobile ability for our staff. And then we're also going to have one of the 6 replacements is going to be for the CAD computer, which is going to be definitely a higher quality computer. So it'll be a little bit more expensive than the typical workstations that we're seeing. But then now we're working on developing a plan, so we'll be having approximately 6 stations that will be rotating out every year. And we'll have a little bit of a better grasp on being proactive instead of waiting for something to fail. We'll get it replaced before that happens. So, if you have any questions for me or Spencer, you want me to
These
add
are
anything?
all in the budget and everything for the year? Or
So
where are we
normally what
financing
has
that?
been done in previously from looking back in the budgets is $15,000 a year for computer was always budgeted. And that was well over what was normally could be required in a given year, knowing that eventually we're going to have to replace our servers, which we're going to have to replace our servers that are at their end of life. And that's going to be an 80 plus or around $80,000 investment we'll have to probably make by the end of the year. Again, every year it was $15,000 budgeted, thinking that it was going in the reserve. And so we'll probably change moving forward how we do that and actually transfer it out of the general fund. And we'll create a tech equipment reserve, kind of like we do with everything else, just so that we can better track those expenses and whatnot. And so also coordinating with corporate tech on the servers as well, because those are at their end of life. So I want to thank Rob for doing all the coordinating. He's a little bit more technically inclined, but we make sure that we ask questions that we don't know the answers to, and always try to get a second and third opinion from trusted resources in the city as well as outside.
So the answer is yeah, we have the money in there.
Yeah.
It's long overdue, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
seeing where.
Right.
For example, this year, the line item I put for 2023 was $15,000. That's what we put every year. Knowing what I know now, I would have put a significantly higher amount. So we'll come to the commission and request those funds when it comes due. So.
Okay. Is that everything, Spencer?
When I talked about problems that the city of Devils Lake has that other communities don't have, and I think about specifically like the utilities department. So, just a look into the window, we're sitting in the city administrators meeting and we're talking about the certifications for utility operators and water plant operators. And it's a very slow process, and it really hinders a lot of communities in getting people the credentials they need to do their jobs. We've been grateful because we have so many longtime employees in the utilities department. We have a variety of number of certified folks. So an example of problems that we don't see that other communities see on a frequent basis. Obviously, we want to get our folks credentialed, but it's not imperative to our operation, and it's not as much of a time constraint or pressing issue as it is for others. So, an example.
Very good. Okay. Jack?
I don't really have any updates.
Okay.
Everything's pretty much going smoothly. The junk nuisance ordinance is moving along. We've got some people cleaning it up, and then we've got to send one more round of letters to a couple others.
You just need to get her done before winter anyhow. So, okay. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions of anybody? If not, we'll move along. And we'll go into old business. And number one on old business is Western Summers Loan Guarantee. And Spencer, is there any you want to update us on?
Yeah, Mayor Mo, members of the commission, last meeting, there was a request for more time and inquiry on the specific circumstances surrounding a few of the particulars associated with the guarantee that's coming due with Western as it relates to Summers Manufacturing. I'll leave it to those that had specific questions relay if they're satisfied or not. But in the end, if the commission chooses to pay the guarantee and wants to do so up front and a full payment, I would recommend approving Budget Amendment 2306 as detailed in your staff report, which reallocates our sales tax and adjusts the percentages for budget year 2023. With that, I would turn over to the commission.
And I'll take that one. We did meet with Brett Johnson and his asset manager, the gentleman that came up from Fargo last week. I requested it at the last meeting 2 weeks ago. Had some more questions, had a little heartache still. We met. I think I'm at the spot where I'm fine with, accepting the fact that we have to repay the money. Just one of those things that I think in the future we've learned a bit from this incident. I mean, could have probably asked more questions as we went went down the road. It took 4 years and there wasn't a whole lot of communication. We didn't request much. They didn't offer any. I don't think the results might have been any different other than the fact that probably wouldn't have had the heartache at the end type of thing. But yeah, with that, I'm totally satisfied. We had our conversation. I spoke my piece. They explained the way it went down, and I'm ready to. I'll make a motion that we take care of that that payment for the loan guarantee for Summers. I'm thinking we want to take care of it all at once. So I'll make a motion that we take care of the loan payment and pay it off at once as opposed to the payment plan they were offering.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Do we have to do two separate for that and then one for the budget amendment? Or that
I would say just approve budget amendment 2306 and pay the loan guarantee. That's what I would recommend.
Okay, motion will reflect the budget amendment 2306.
I'll second that motion.
Second by Commissioner Pierce. Okay, we'll have a roll call, and I believe Commissioner Hatch will abstain.
I will abstain.
And just to clarify, this is a motion to approve that budget
Yes.
amendment, right?
Okay, so at this time, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pierce?
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins?
Aye.
President Moss?
Aye. Motion approved. Okay. The next one is we have Sean in the audience for Lake Region Joint Training Center. Welcome, Sean.
Hello, everybody. I'll start with some of the quick things. With the money that you guys were giving us, the $50,000, we've already started some of the projects. We have the flooring all paid for, and we have the toilets and the sinks are put in. We're waiting to get the gutters put on the side, and they're waiting for bids for a drain tile. So we get started with that project. About ready to start with finishing cleaning up the building. So most of the demolition is done. Just need to roll out to get out some of the junk. And we're waiting on a couple other bids for getting the work done on the inside as far as materials. Most of the work is going to be done by volunteers. So almost all of it is. So we've talked to a few other organizations that'll be possibly using it at nighttime, help out a little bit. As far as training wise, we've had one Homeland Security class 3 days with Camp Grafton, and that was law enforcement active shooter. Got another one coming up for Run, Hide, Fight, which is for pretty much everybody in the community besides first responders. And we're working on a disaster response for healthcare providers for the whole community. So that's going to be within pretty much the whole Northeast. So there'll be a lot of healthcare providers in the area for that.
Will that be out of Camp Grafton again, or are you going to do it different?
We're going to check, more likely be at Camp Grafton again. A lot of the bigger trainings will be because these are, they've got a lot of equipment that brings in. The classes are anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 a piece. So they bring in a lot of equipment and then they stay over for 3 to 4 days. So it's just a little bit easier. Even with the training center complete, we'd still have to go to Camp Grafton for the bigger classes. It'd be more appropriate for training the PD of the correction officers or our first responders locally and regionally. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I was just driving by the other day and I looked and it was looking a little unsightly around the outside type of thing. I didn't stop and take any pictures. That's why it spawned me to give you a ring and ask if you'd come. But this has been going on for probably 4 years or more, maybe. The potential of trying to get somewhere with it. I mean, are you at a spot where you need help with something, or I don't know what it looks like inside, but I'm picturing what it looked like outside probably translates to the inside.
So the inside is completely demolished.
Okay.
So the walls are out and the ceiling and everything is out. The problem that we were having is that rain was coming in underneath, and we found out where that was at because there's no gutters, there's no drain tile. In order to do that, we actually have to find the line for the drain tile, and they get companies to bid on it. We had it mowed in the beginning of the spring, and then we were planning on doing it again this fall. We did call for a rollout once, never showed up, so we can call again and then get it cleaned up a little bit. So that's a project we're gonna have to do in the fall and winter months, the inside.
It's just a concrete slab.
It's a concrete slab, yeah.
And so there was drain tile previously then, or never?
No. When Otter Tail built up the substation, they built the rocks up, so all the water flows right into the building.
Okay.
So we've known about it, we just know where it was at. Now we found where it's at, so we have to put drain tile there.
Yeah, to me, it just feels like it's going nowhere fast, and I'm just trying to kickstart it a little bit. I don't know if there's
Yeah,
any.
no, it's, we're also waiting for you guys, after you donated, you made a challenge to the county, they had to wait for the budget. So I'll actually go there tomorrow to see if they're gonna budget. That doesn't sound like they plan on budgeting at all for it, so we're gonna have to stretch it out a little bit. But most of the work is just done by a few responders that go in and help.
And like say, even myself, I'd be willing to go over and pound nails or do something in the evening, or
But we might take you up on that
we
once.
could chase golfers around. They are golfing in the wintertime. Probably get them to help out.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get everybody in the summertime to do anything. We're pretty busy with training and with everything else, so.
Getting some contractors to come out is impossible.
Yeah,
I've been fighting all summer to get, a contractor to come to my place to get ready for next year.
yeah, we got some of these last year, and so we're looking for the fall to actually have it complete. So hopefully within the next month by November, we should be down at the outside and working just on the inside.
If there was a goal, would you have their comment on that, or by next spring?
I was gonna say June, but spring would be fantastic. So if we're gonna get everybody and just unload everything and start going, because we'll have the whole inside cleaned out. So then we'll just be getting everything tacked up. And I've got a few smaller helpers that want to come and help out too. So Scouts and Girl Scouts wanted to come bring their parents with and do the painting and put up sheetrock, things like that. So
Well, if you need something, I'll volunteer to help.
I'll take all the help I can
To
get.
a certain degree of my ability. But, all right, yeah, it'd just be nice to see it done, because it's been going on forever, and it just seems like if somebody doesn't start pushing it, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yep, we're starting to work on this fall, and I'll try to get it done by spring. So we'll try to get as much help as we can and get it going here again. Pretty good. Anybody else have any questions?
No, just work hard at it, I guess.
I'll keep going.
Plug it away.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3 is void check 126,579 in the amount of 153,827 to Allstate Peterbilt. Spencer.
Mayor, members of the commission, just kind of an internal thing with the vendor for the truck. We purposely paid for the truck with $5,000 short, anticipating that they would take the income from our old truck. Just kind of an internal thing. Want to void that $148,000 check, cut them off 153, and then they would pay us back the $5,000 for our eventually sold old rig. So we just request the voiding of the check and then issue a new one.
I'll make a motion to avoid the check number as presented.
Commissioner Robbins,
Second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
President Moore.
Aye. Motion carried. Nothing under consent agenda. The next item is, resolution setting the per diem reimbursement rates for the city of Devils Lake. Spencer.
Mayor, members of the commission, this is a resolution to adjust our per diem rates. However, not just adjust them to the current rates, but also kind of index them to what the state's per diem rates are. So every year the state changes their per diem rate, and then we would come to you guys for approval of the state. So just a resolution saying, hey, if the state's per diem rates change, that the city will adopt those unless otherwise specified by the city commission, as well as for lodging. The General Services Administration sets the lodging rate for out of state. So if we send folks out of state, there's a specific rate for a specific county and a specific city and a specific county and a specific state that you pay. So just want to basically set that moving forward so we don't have to routinely come back to you. Would have to answer any questions.
I'll make the motion for the adoption of the foregoing resolution.
Commissioner Pierce,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Company I work for uses that GSA all the time.
Next item is number 2, first reading of ordinance 991, the cooperative purchasing agreement. It's a first reading, so
You
No.
want to give a briefing?
Pardon?
You want me to give a brief?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Mayor, members of the commission, this just adds to our purchasing policies, the ability to procure through cooperative purchasing agreements. For example, for right now, if anything over $30,000, it's in our municipal code that we have to bid that out. However, if we were to procure from a place like Sourcewell, which is a cooperative purchasing vendor, they're already competitively bid. And the state of North Dakota recently, this last legislative cycle, passed a bill which enables political subdivisions to use those cooperative purchasing agreements for the procurement of, equipment, resources, and whatnot. So just adding another tool to the tool belt. And so it would welcome any questions with that. If there are any.
I'm okay with it. Good. We
Makes
Make-
it easier.
we don't have to do anything for motion or approve it? Motion wise?
The reading.
First
Just the
ordinance.
first reading, so, okay. All right. We'll move on. Number 3, first reading ordinance 992, snow removal and street maintenance. Just who wants to update us?
This just, Mayor, members of the commission, this just clarifies the definitions of street maintenance and snow removal, as well as the publication requirements, updating those since the journal doesn't publish every day. So just
Okay.
modernizing those for our current circumstances.
Anybody have any questions on that?
That's correct. I had someone litigate a parking ticket for street sweeping. He said the statute isn't, and the signs don't say street sweeping, they say street maintenance, and there's no consecutive publishing as required by ordinance. So, in talking to the municipal judge, I decided it would be prudent just to update our ordinance.
So you lost the case because it didn't say
Well,
street
no,
sweeping?
we didn't litigate it, but I let him out of his $20 parking ticket.
That's what I should have did when I got mine.
Fair and reasonable.
Okay. Oh, well. Lost my train of thought now. Okay, we'll move on. Item number 4, second reading of ordinance 990, right to refusal. Jack, or I guess it's yours or the chief?
Sorry.
Refusal.
Just the second reading?
Oh, yep, it's really just updating our entire Eli ordinance. It'll be really nice for the officers.
So it's not just refusal, it's the whole ordinance.
Yep, but the
Okay.
point was to add refusal, and so while I was at it, I just kind of rewrote it to bring it a little bit more up to date and make it easier to use. Same effect. So I think it'll be better.
Okay. We'll need a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the refusal
Commissioner Pierce,
ordinance.
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carried. Item number 5, custodial service agreement renewal with David Rader.
Honorable members of the commission, just wanted to renew our agreement with our custodian back here. Some of you might have met him. He's usually cleaning it up there after city commission meetings if we go long enough. It's just an act retroactively effective July 1. We were supposed to update this in July and let us know. So 3% increase effective July 1 of this year, plus another 3% increase effective July 1 of next year. I just want to do that retroactively, and I think the last one was a 2-year agreement that didn't have any cost of living increase, so pretty reasonable. Recommend approval.
I would agree. I'll make a motion to approve the custodial agreement.
Commissioner Robbins,
Second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins.
Aye.
President Lowe.
Aye. Motion carries. Nothing under citizen comment. Informational items, nothing. We'll have a motion to approve the payment of bills, but I do have one request about researching this mid-state volunteer program, also known as the MACHI. I understand that they have 2 locations. They purchased a place and then they also are operating kind of a retail out of the store that I believe that we're helps subsidizing. And I know the county's got some questions regarding it. I guess I'd like to have some research to look into it prior to paying it, to see if it's necessary and see if they're still, I understand they're, financially stable. And maybe it's not necessary to continue this.
We'll do some research and follow up and,
So if the
Look
motion
back in
to
the fall.
approve the list of bills is everything but this one.
yeah, I would just say, motion if the commission agrees, someone wanted a motion to say, to approve the list of bills minus the, bill to Mid-State Volunteer.
Make a motion to approve the bills minus the reimbursement for Mid-State Volunteer Program pending further investigation.
Kate, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Robbins. Okay, any further discussion? I guess maybe they can come here and present their case too, if it's necessary, but just, I know that there's others, there was somebody asking about it and why we were doing it. I didn't know they were financially in a good shape, so.
Definitely take a look.
Okay.
Good to look back at those.
So if not, roll call.
Commissioner Pierce,
Aye.
Commissioner Hash,
Aye.
Commissioner Robbins, President Mo.
Aye. Motion carried. If there's no other business coming before the commission, it's meeting adjourned.
Well,